Hello. So I just wanted to share with you what's happening with me. Like, I have a back pain, my finger hurts, my tooth hurt, my gut and anus hurt because of accidents that happened in these days and just the 3 or 4 autoimmune diseases that I have. Even though they are mostly cleared out, there are still remnants of them, of it. And so I just wanted to say that these things happen, accidents happen, shit happens. But even though shit happens, God still demands from us to fight, right? We are not just being allowed to give up and end this life, right? Like some people do, right? Like, even though you're hurting and you're in pain, God still demands from us to fight. He will say when the suffering is over, He will say when the pain is over, when the disease is over, when it is your time to heal and feel good about it, right? So even though the world is suffering, and even though some people would just like it for it to be finished, to for it to stop, even though we would like it, it will not just happen, right? Even though God could do it, right? God could just snap the fingers and all of it would be resolved, right? But He wants it, obviously now. He wants it for this resolvement, for this power of His to be revealed, to be manifested, realized through us, right? Even though God is the Almighty, the highest wizard, magician ever existed, He still in this experience of life is being manifested through us, through every individual on this planet. And He wants to accomplish the victory through us, right? He's playing a game with us, through us, for Himself. I feel like God is every now and then trying to prove to Himself that He still got it, right? That He still is the best, that He still is the highest magician, wizard in existence. He makes a show for Himself, and then He manifests this reality that we are in, right? Where we forget who we are, that we are a part of Him, a child of God. So one stone of in the whole picture of mosaic of God, literally, you are His son or daughter. He is our father and mother. And He staged this show for Himself through us awakening to our power, to recognition of our own value, of the power of God, right? Because all of us just awakening to our value as the child of God, to our power, through our resilience. How can that happen? It can only happen by you being tested with challenge, right? Only by you being tested with obstacles, right? How can you prove to yourself? How can you recognize yourself as being worthy, valued, powerful, and resistant if you don't face life, if you don't face the troubles of life? It's impossible. It's impossible. And only when you face life, the troubles, the unpleasantness, the suffering of life, only when you face it, when you allow it to be there and not numb yourself, only when you allow it to be there, to fully experience, to surrender to it, only once you're being like that, so surrendered to life, facing life fully, only in that you can test your full power, through that achieve embodiment and come to awareness of who you actually are, how worthy of a being you actually are, right? Some people say that we shouldn't be proving our worth. You are enough the way you are, right? And this is a beautiful thought. And I would like for the new generations to not need to seek validation, confirmation, being liked in order to feel good about themselves, right? I would like for my children and for the people that come after me, I would like for them to just know their own power, know their own worth, and not needing approval from the world, because then everything is just being manipulated, right? You're then just proving your worth, overdoing it, performing, and so then overdoing it, hurting yourself, hurting the other, just to get the validation that you're something because you don't feel like that, right? Is then just all a manipulation. And even though I would like for the new generations to not need this proof from the world that they are worthy because they are not, right? Like we did. Like trauma made us be like that, right? Because you're not worthy, you're then through the world trying to prove that you are worthy, right? Because somebody that's satisfied doesn't have anything to prove, right? And all of this mumbo jumbo that's happening on the planet is just people overdoing it in trying to prove the worth because they are truly in embodiment not worthy, because they are not themselves, because they are not whole, because they, as the spirit, as the soul, are not free to be who they are meant to be every moment of life, in the spontaneity of life. And so even though I would like for my children and my grandchildren to not need to prove themselves, to just know who they are, that they are a direct child of God, and standing in that embodiment, even though I would like that, and this is the best, the one of the most beautiful gifts you can give to your child, where they remain being connected to their own power, sovereignty, discernment, intuition, life, to God, to themselves, truly being loving, right? This is what unconditional love allows and is. If you truly unconditionally love, then you remain innocent, free like a child, being spontaneously allowed to be who you are without fear and resistance, without indoctrination of not being like that. And even though this is the best, everybody here on the planet experienced trauma, right? And because of trauma, we now fear life, we fear ourselves, and our parents didn't know what unconditional love means. People on this planet just speak about love, like I love you, but they don't know what love truly in embodiment means, how it looks like, how it behaves, right? Because if our parents knew that, we would all be united, because there is just one love, right? There is not many types of love, there is just love. And love is a universal language. It is the language of the heart, and no matter where you come from, heart is a heart. It doesn't identify with, it doesn't attach to ideologies, to the identities of this imagined world, of this faked, manipulated world, right? It is just love, it is just a full acceptance of what is. And so, even though this is the biggest gift you can give to somebody, I just wanted to remind you, all of you, that we are now traumatized and we have to give this to ourselves. There is no other way. It is truly, really just about reparenting yourself, giving yourself true love, the one you needed from your parent, but you didn't get. And so now you give it to yourself, right? So you start now accepting all of the parts of yourself, unifying within, so we can unify without. I will repeat this boring message to many, but to me the only sense in this life, right? If we don't unite, everything else is just a distraction from that. It's just a sign, a point of weakness. Everything that's not pointing to unification is just you being weak, you being separated within, disconnected within, not being whole, and therefore not being capable of seeing that. So unification as the future, as the solution for the humanity. So you have to first experience it within, so you can give it to the people, so you can recommend it to humanity, right? Until you're not connected within, until you're not whole, until you don't open fully your heart, you will not be capable of bringing that to humanity, and you will be seeing the world as in people will never change, because you didn't prove it to yourself, because you don't change. So the point of this life is to truly embody love by allowing your soul in the spontaneity of life to be as the moment demands from you to be, as God demands from the moment to be in that moment. That's it. These are the secrets of life. Everything else on this planet that's not pointing you to your internal unification and showing you the simplest way, the only way that works, is just a distraction. Everything, money, survival, all of these bullshit jobs, health, sexuality, partnerships, and all of this is just a distraction if we are not being pointed from the head to the heart, right? Not just metaphorically, but in direct experience. Am I allowing myself, am I fearlessly facing myself every moment of life when I'm not following the mind and trying to control life, but when I'm following my intuition, when I'm accepting the moments as they are? Am I being genuine in life? This is how you come to authenticity, right? Authenticity is not just something that you decide today. It is a process of unfolding, of accepting, being dedicated to the acceptance of life, living in that dedication. We could call it fate. I don't know how life will unfold, but I will trust this moment, be fully with it, embody it fully, live it fully. Only through that you can be fully aware of it and be present with it. Only once it has flown through your body as a feeling, sensation, emotion, whatever, right? Thought, experience, whatever. And only if I live like this, I can achieve unification within, balanced self, balance in masculine and feminine within, and be an ambassador of being a fully responsible human being and an ambassador of how the new world, the new earth can look like and will look like, or how to say it, is going to look like. That's it.